Hello chess fans, fans of the beautiful game. This is Rick from Chess to Impress. I'm starting a new little series. I've noticed that the Magnus Carlsen videos on my channel are the most popular. No surprise, of course, now in 2016 Carlsen is the reigning world champion and the most iconic figure we have in chess. So I'm starting a little series. I want to show Carlsen's career from the earliest beginnings till the world champion that he is today. Carlsen learned to play chess at the age of 5. His father taught him, but he was not that interested in the beginning, and only a few years later he became more serious. What I understand from what I've read is that he was mostly playing chess by himself, putting the pieces on the board, looking for combinations, looking to put pieces in configurations that showed nice tactical motives. He was not like Bobby Fischer, who played games against himself, making the moves for white and for black. Carlsen did it differently at the early stages. His first tournament was the 1999 Norwegian Chess Championship in the youngest division, and he scored 6.5 out of 11 points there. He was 8 years and 7 months old. So let me show you a few games of the 8-year-old Magnus Carlsen. This is a game he played against Elbjörg Blikra Vea, and he was black. Let's look at the game. It was a Sicilian, and d5, and here the white player made a mistake. Of course, e takes d5 is the normal move here, but she retreated with her bishop, and Carlsen won a pawn, kicking the knight back. And after d3, Carlsen took bishop d6, bishop g5. And after castling knight c3, Carlsen played b6. He develops his pieces in a very harmonious way. And knight f3 is also a mistake. And Carlsen, from playing through his games of this tournament, was quite good tactically for somebody who had only really just started playing chess more seriously. He sees that the bishop on g4 is unprotected, but that his knight is pinned, so he played the strong move g5 to unpin the knight and win the bishop on g4. His opponent saw that she was losing a piece, so she took on g5, and Carlsen played knight e5. And let's move on. Knight takes d3, picks up another pawn, queen e2, and queen d4 check. King h1, and Carlsen brings in another piece for an attack against the king. His own king is quite drafty, and after queen g4, Carlsen saw another tactical motive. He saw that he can, with knight f2, can win the queen, so that explains his strange move to shield the check, bishop g5. He was probably hoping that white would take with the pawn or with the bishop, and then he could win the queen. That is what happened, but here white could of course have played knight takes e4, bishop takes e4, bishop takes g5, and she suddenly has one material back with a more or less equal position. But she took on g5, and now Carlsen won the queen by knight ef2. And after king g1, he even has another tactical motive which he probably hadn't discovered yet in his young career, the smothered mate. He could have played knight takes h3, king h1, and now the beautiful queen sacrifice. Rook takes, and knight f2 is checkmate. Carlsen took the queen as planned, and of course there's another saying in chess: if you can choose between checkmate or winning the queen, you better take the queen, because it might not be checkmate after all. Well, in this case it was checkmate, but Carlsen won the queen, and just showing you the remaining moves of the game very quickly. In the end, he was able to checkmate his opponent. Queen f3, rook g2, and queen takes g2, checkmate. Nice game from Carlsen. Let me show you one more of this same tournament, of the 1999 Norwegian Youth Championships. This was Magnus Carlsen playing white against Havard Wetterhuis, and this is actually a game he lost, but it's quite funny to see what happened. It was a Caro-Kann defense from Wetterhuis, and Carlsen played the bishop d3 line. Knight g3, of course, is the most common move, but Carlsen probably did not know that yet. Let's play through some of the moves, and again it shows that Carlsen was good at developing his pieces in a healthy way. Exchanges on e4 and black castled. Bishop f4, bishop c7, and Carlsen with knight g5 tries a checkmating attack. Queen h4, h5, rook ae1, bringing more pieces to the action. And after knight f6, Carlsen saw another tactical motive, winning a pawn. He saw that he can take on e6 here, which wins a pawn. And queen f7, after queen f7, white of course is a healthy pawn up and can exchange queens and trying to win a rook endgame, or probably even better is play queen g5 because the black king is a little bit drafty. Of course, all these this analysis doesn't really make sense. These were two young boys playing a game. But Carlsen made here the very instructive mistake. I said before he was tactically quite good, and he saw he had another tactic here. But unfortunately he didn't. He had overlooked that after queen takes f6 he cannot take the queen back because of the back rank mate. So he lost his queen for a rook. Played on a few more moves, but in the end he resigned. And just show you the final position, rook g8, and Carlsen resigned. So winning a pawn with a nice tactic and then thinking he won another one with another nice tactic, but there was a little flaw there because of the back rank. I hope you found these games amusing. Of course, it doesn't really make sense to analyze these seriously, but it's nice to see Carlsen in action in his first tournament. That's the nice thing about chess. You can look at how the top players started their careers. You cannot see images of Lionel Messi's first football match. You cannot see images of Usain Bolt's first race on the track. But we can see Magnus Carlsen in action in his first tournament. So the next video will be about Magnus Carlsen when he was 9, and it will be clear what huge steps he had made in 1 year. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Please subscribe to my channel. This is Chess to Impress. Thank you for watching.